This is The Space Shot, episode 79 for August 1st, 2017. NORAD, Colorado, and a bumper rocket. Hey everyone, welcome to The Space Shot, your daily space history, pop culture, and news fix. I'm John Molnix. This evening, a Vega rocket carrying 2 satellites lifted off from Kourou in French Guiana. The Vega rocket was carrying a joint French and Israeli environmental and vegetation monitoring satellite, as well as a satellite for the Italian Ministry of Defense. Tonight's launch marked the 10th time that the Vega rocket successfully lifted off and carried its payload into orbit. Now for some history. 60 years ago today, on August 1st, 1957, the creation of NORAD was announced. NORAD, or the North American Aerospace Defense Command, is headquartered at Peterson Air Force Base outside of Colorado Springs, Colorado. Part of NORAD was the Cheyenne Mountain Complex, which is a network of EMP and nuclear-hardened bunkers deep inside Cheyenne Mountain. In addition to the military role that NORAD plays for defending the United States and Canada, it used to track space assets. Once the United States Air Force Space Command was created, those responsibilities shifted away from NORAD and to Space Command. In a future episode, I will have more on the United States Air Force Space Command, so stay tuned for that. If you're a fan of Stargate, in any of its numerous variations, the Cheyenne Mountain Complex is also the location of a Stargate. The original Stargate movie was released in 1994, and it spawned numerous TV shows and movies. I loved the first movie and watched some of the SG-1 series, but the show went on for 10 seasons plus, and there was a few follow-on shows as well. Sadly, I never had the time to watch those shows. It was announced at Comic-Con this year that there will be a web-only series of digital shorts in the Stargate universe. I'll link to an article from The Verge in the show notes, so be sure to check that out. Since we're talking about Cheyenne Mountain and it's located in Colorado, I want to mention that today is Colorado Day. On August 1st, 1876, Colorado was admitted to the Union as the 38th state. Colorado's home to numerous space companies. Some of those are the Aerospace Corporation, Ball Aerospace, Boeing, Digital Globe, Sierra Nevada, which makes the Dream Chaser lifting body spaceplane, Raytheon, the United Launch Alliance, and countless others. Colorado is also home to the United States Air Force Space Command and the University of Colorado's Laboratory for Atmospheric and Space Physics. I was lucky enough to be at the 2015 Aerospace Day at the Capitol in Denver. It was a great experience to be able to meet people from the private sector, as well as people at the University of Colorado. As a native Coloradan, I'm happy to see that my home state is playing such a pivotal role in the space industry. Now for some long overdue NASA and NACA history. Back on July 24th, 1950, a bumper rocket lifted off, and that was the first time that a rocket launched from Cape Canaveral. The bumper was a modified German V-2 rocket with an upper stage WAC Corporal, which stood 62 feet tall. The launches in July of 1950 were the first and second launches from Cape Canaveral. After these launches, the Cape underwent an incredible transformation over the next 2.5 decades. First, launching Americans into low Earth orbit, and later to the Moon. Many of the robotic spacecraft currently exploring our solar system were launched from Cape Canaveral. Groundbreaking flights have taken place at the Cape since the 1950s, and in 2015, SpaceX became the first company to land an orbital-class booster after it successfully delivered its payload to space. In the coming years, the first flights of the next generation of rockets, the Falcon Heavy, Blue Origin's New Glenn rocket, the United Launch Alliance's Vulcan, and the Space Launch System are all scheduled to lift off for the first time from Kennedy Space Center and Cape Canaveral. From later this year into the 2020s, the number of first launches for new rockets is going to be quite high, so I would suggest getting to Florida as often as possible. Check out the show notes for more information on today's show, and be sure to connect with me on Instagram and Twitter. Find me at John Molnix. I'd love to chat. Let me know what you think of the show by leaving a rating in iTunes. It takes just a minute, and it makes a huge difference because it helps even more people find the show. I'd appreciate if you could all share the Space Shot with your friends and family and anyone else that you know that enjoys podcasts. Tomorrow, a Falcon 1 launch, and Atlantis and the STS-43 mission. I'm John Molnix, and I'll catch you on the flip side.